This video is problem number 2 on De Moivre's theorem. Hello students, so now we are going to start with the problem number 2 on successive differentiation. So here I will solve this problem by using the concept of De Moivre's theorem from complex number. So let's see how to get the nth derivative by using the concept of successive differentiation. So here you all can see that we have a function y as tan inverse of x, and we have to prove that the n derivative is minus 1 to the power n minus 1 and minus 1 factorial upon x square plus 1 whole raised to n upon 2 sine of n tan inverse 1 upon x. Now guys, to get the nth derivative, what we do is we use the formula to get the n derivative of the given function. Now here in this case the function is tan inverse of x, and we know that we don't have any standard formula to find out the nth derivative of tan inverse of x. So what we'll do here, so what I would be doing here is I will find out the first derivative of that given function, and then we'll check if n derivative of that first derivative is possible or not. If it is possible, then we'll use the standard formula to find out the n derivative. If it's not possible, then I will find out the second derivative, third derivative, and then we will guess what would be the nth derivative. So let's start. So here y is tan inverse of x. So what is the first derivative? So first derivative is given by y1, and we all know that the derivative of tan inverse x is 1 upon x square plus 1 or 1 plus x square. Now guys, from this, if you check the formula of nth derivative, then we do not have formula to find out the nth derivative of 1 upon x square plus 1 directly. But if I convert that 1 upon x square plus 1 into the linear factors, then definitely we have the formula to find out the nth derivative. So on the screen you can see the formula. So if I convert that factor in this form, that is 1 upon ax plus b, then I can use this formula to find out the nth derivative. So guys, what I'll do here is, here I will convert this given function in that form. So for that, what I'll do is I'll rewrite this term as, that is x square plus 1 as x square minus I square. Now guys, we all know that I square is minus 1 and minus that is plus 1. So we'll get the same term. Now here we can observe a pattern, that is a square minus b square, and we know that it is a plus b into a minus b. So therefore the y1 is 1 upon x plus I into x minus I. Now after this, still we can't find out the nth derivative directly, because in the denominator we have two factors. So it means we have to separate the factors, and to separate the factors, what we'll do here is we'll apply the rule of partial fraction. Now guys, if you're planning to apply the rule of partial fraction, then it will take 1 or 2 pages to solve. So instead of applying the rule of partial fraction, we will use the shortcut formula, or I would say we'll do the few adjustment to get the partial fraction directly. So here I'll do the adjustment, and I am sure that you have watched my previous video, because in the previous video also, in problem number 1, I did the same type of adjustment to get the partial fraction. So guys, how we'll do it? So here I will write that factor, that is x minus I minus 1 upon x plus I, and I'll give the bracket. Now guys, here I'm just assuming these factors. Now we'll be doing the adjustment. So we know that whenever we take any partial fraction, and after getting the partial fraction, if we find the LCM of those fraction, then we get the original fraction back. So it means if I try to find out the LCM of this, then I should get this factor back. So let's check. So for LCM, what we do, we multiply crosswise, and then we multiply the denominator. So if I multiply denominator, I'll get this denominator. Yeah, that's correct. Now let's see what happens if I multiply crosswise. So here I'll get x plus I, and here I'll get minus x plus I. So it means x and x will be cancelled, and I will get I plus I 2i. But guys, what I want 1 in the numerator. So if I want 1 in the numerator, I have to divide it by 1 upon 2i. So by dividing with 2i, here I was having 2i, we can cancel that 2i and 2i, and we can get 1 in the numerator. So it means this is the partial fraction of the given fraction. Now guys, here you can observe one more thing, that I've separated the terms. So now it's very easy to get the nth derivative of each and every term, because now this is matching with my formula, that is ax plus b. Now let's compare with the formula. Here the value of a is 1 and the value of b is I. So here wherever I have a, I'll be substituting it by 1 and b by I. So let's see what we get. Now guys, here I'll write it down. So y1 is equal to 1 upon 2i into, now we have to observe one more thing. So if you see here, then my function 1 upon x plus b is y. So that is why I'm getting this answer as the nth derivative. So guys, just see here, if you see this function, then it is matching with our form, that is 1 upon x plus b, but it is at a stage of y1. So it means this is the value of y1. So if I apply the same formula, then I'll get this nth derivative at y of n plus 1, because I'm starting at a stage of y1. So my nth derivative will be shifted by 1. So the same nth derivative which I got here, which is yn, I'll get it at yn plus 1, because here I'm starting my function at y1. But if you observe the question, then in my question we have to get the value of yn. So it means getting the value of y of n plus 1 is of no use. So how to get the value of yn? So that's simple. As I said that we will get this value at a stage of y of n plus 1. What we'll do is we'll come one step before and we'll subtract 1 from the nth derivative, and then we can get the value of yn. So here I'll say therefore yn equal to 1 upon 2i. Now the nth derivative of this term will be minus 1 raised to n. But guys, we'll get this answer at a step of y of n plus 1. So here we'll say it is minus 1 raised to n minus 1. So what I'm doing is I'm coming one step back. Next, this n factorial will be n minus 1 factorial. Next, this a is 1. Here you can observe a is 1. So 1 raised to n is 1. So I'll not write that term. Here ax plus b is x minus I, and that power which is n plus 1 will become n, because guys I'm searching or I'm finding the value of yn and not yn plus 1. So this is the value for this. Minus, same thing will happen with this. So we'll get minus 1 raised to minus 1. So guys, here we got the value of yn. But let's observe the question. So here we have to prove that the answer is this. And now if you observe, then we got these two terms here. So I can take these two terms common. So we will get minus 1 to the power n minus 1, then n minus 1 factorial upon 2i, and in the bracket 1 upon x minus I to the power n minus 1 upon x plus I to the power n. Now guys, if you observe this bracket, then it is not matching with our final answer. So in the final answer we want sine, and then the denominator we want x square plus 1 raised to n by 2. So let's try to find it out. So guys, now right now I have term that is x minus I and x plus I, which I want to convert into sine. So it is reminding me about the complex number, because in complex number we have seen that any complex number x plus iy is represented in the polar form as r into cos theta plus I sin theta. It means we can convert a complex number into polar form, and there we can get sine and cos terms. So it means I will convert this complex terms to the polar form. So for that we have to assume the real part and the imaginary part. So here I'll say let this real part x is equal to r cos theta, and this imaginary part here it is 1 is equal to r sin theta. So therefore if I divide these two terms, that is r sin theta by r cos theta, will get tan theta. So here I'll say the tan theta will be 1 by x, or theta will be tan inverse of 1 by x. So we can get this value, that is tan inverse of 1 by x. Next, if I square it and add it, then we'll get x square plus 1 as r square, because cos square theta plus sin square theta will be 1. So here I'll say x square plus 1 is equal to r square, or we can say that the value of r is under root x square plus 1. Now let's put all these values in this term. So first of all, I'll evaluate the first term. Now guys, let's put the value of x and 1. So we'll get so here I have substituted x as r cos theta and 1 as r sin theta. Next, I can take r common. So we will get 1 upon r to the power n outside. And this is nothing but cos theta minus I sin theta whole raised to n. So here I'll write it down. So guys, we have learned a very wonderful theorem in the complex number, which is called as de Moivre's theorem. So we know that in that what we do is, whatever is the power of a complex number, and let's say if the given complex number is in the polar form, then we multiply that angle with the power. So this will become 1 by r raised to n, and this is cos of n theta minus I sin n theta. So this is due to de Moivre's theorem. So we'll get this answer. Now guys, here in the denominator we have a complex number, so we never keep the complex number in the denominator. So that is why I'll rationalize it. I'll multiply it with the complex conjugate, that is cos n theta plus I sin n theta in the numerator and denominator. So in the denominator we will get 1, and this will be shifted to numerator. So in the numerator we will get cos of n theta plus I sin n theta. So what I'm doing here is I'm multiplying numerator and denominator with cos n theta plus I sin n theta. So in the numerator 1 into this term will be same term, and in the denominator we will get 1. So this is the answer of 1 upon x minus I to the power n. Now guys, we have one more term, that is 1 upon x plus I raised to n. So this will give us 1 upon r raised to n, and for this, now if you observe, then terms are exactly same, only the difference is in the sign. So since we have negative sign, here we are getting negative, 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 and when it is shifted to numerator, that is positive. Similarly, for here we'll get positive, and when it will be shifted to numerator, we'll get negative sign. So that will be cos of n theta minus I sin n theta. Now guys, we'll substitute these two values here, and we will subtract it. It means we'll subtract the second value from the first value. So let's see what we get. So here I'll say therefore so guys, first term as it is. Now let's subtract these two terms. So while subtracting, we can see that 1 upon r raised to n is common. I'll take it outside. So 1 upon r raised to n outside. And when we'll subtract this second term from the first term, the sign of second term will change. So this will become negative and this will become positive. I'll show it here. So this will become negative, this will become positive. And then guys, since this is negative cos n theta, this is positive cos n theta, will cancel it. And I sin n theta and plus I sin n theta will become 2I sin n theta. So here I'll write, that is 2I sin of n theta. So this will get after the subtraction. Now guys, we can cancel 2i with 2i, and now we'll observe the question. So in the question we want minus 1 raised to n minus 1 factorial that we got here. We want sine of n into tan inverse 1 by x. We got sine of n into theta, but guys, we know that here we got the value of theta. So theta is tan inverse of 1 by x, so I can get this term. Now let's observe the denominator. In denominator we have r raised to n, so I'll write it down. Now in denominator we have r raised to n, so guys we want x square plus 1 raised to n by 2. So we have a value of r is under root x square plus 1, which is nothing but x square plus 1 raised to half. So if I substitute this value of r over here, then there is power n and half, so it will be multiplied and we will get x square plus 1 raised to n by 2. So it means guys we'll get the final answer. So here problem is finished, and I am sure you understood how to get or how to prove that given question in the examination by using the rule of successive differentiation. So guys, keep watching the videos, because in the next video I'm gonna cover more numericals on successive differentiation. And don't forget to share this channel with your friends, because they can also get benefited through this wonderful videos of successive differentiation. Thank you very much.